In January 2009, a shadow stirred in the heart of the internet. A pseudonym appeared, Satoshi Nakamoto, with a white paper, a line of code, and a warning. The root problem with conventional currency is all the trust that's required to make it work. Within days, a system was born. A decentralized, untouchable currency that would forever change the world. Bitcoin. But what if I told you? Satoshi never vanished. He was hiding in plain sight, and his plan was never to disappear, but to return. Hal Finney was no ordinary programmer. Born in 1956, Hal had already carved a name for himself before Bitcoin even existed. A cryptographic pioneer, the first developer to work on PGP encryption, a privacy maximalist who believed in a future free from government surveillance. And on January 12, 2009, just 9 days after Bitcoin launched, Hal received the first ever Bitcoin transaction from Satoshi Nakamoto. Only, no one asked the obvious question. Why Hal? It wasn't random. Satoshi trusted Hal, because Hal was Satoshi, but he never admitted it. Not in interviews, not in emails, not even when ALS began to shut down his body. You see, Hal understood something most people didn't. He knew the revolution Bitcoin represented, but he also knew the danger that came with being its creator. Powerful enemies, governments, banks, even intelligence agencies. So he created a phantom. Satoshi Nakamoto was never a real person. It was a mask. And behind the mask was a dying man with a plan. In his last public post, Hal wrote, "I'm proud of what Bitcoin has become. I'm glad I was able to help." But the real story was just beginning. In 2014, Hal Finney passed away from ALS, or so the world thought. His body was cryonically preserved by the Alcor Life Extension Foundation in Arizona, frozen in liquid nitrogen, waiting for a future where medicine could bring him back. But that's not all he left behind. In the final weeks before his death, Hal transferred over 1 million Bitcoin to a cold storage address, untouched, untraced, hidden from even the most powerful blockchain analysis firms. It matched the pattern of the original Satoshi wallet, the same wallet that had mined the Genesis block. Why would he go to such lengths to hide? Because Hal knew the arc of history. He knew that power corrupts, and that owning the world's first, and possibly greatest, digital currency would make him a target. But more than that, he believed in legacy. Hal created Bitcoin in the ashes of the 2008 crash. As banks were bailed out and families lost homes, he coded in silence. A system that would never need a central bank. A lifeboat for future generations. But he wasn't naive. He knew the world wasn't ready. Not yet. Here's where the story turns. Before his passing, Hal embedded a secret message in Bitcoin's codebase, a time-locked transaction protocol, obscured by seemingly routine functions, accessible only with a key no one had, except the frozen man. Some blockchain historians now believe there is a mechanism that will release the Satoshi wallet in 2044, exactly 35 years after the Genesis block. And when it does, every Satoshi inside could flood the system, or be used to rebuild the world. Hal didn't want fame. He didn't want power. He wanted a fair system, built on math, not trust. And as his body failed him, he made a choice: to leave quietly, to let Bitcoin speak for itself, and to trust that someday the world would be ready for his return. In Arizona, behind steel walls and frozen air, lies the man who started it all. Not gone, not forgotten, just waiting. When the next crypto revolution begins, when governments falter and fiat crumbles, a single wallet may awaken, and the name Satoshi Nakamoto will no longer be a mystery. Because the truth was never in Japan, or the UK, or an anonymous forum. It was sitting in a cryo chamber, wearing a smile, and waiting for the world to catch up. This is the story of Hal Finney, the man who became a ghost, and may yet return as a god.